How's it going, everyone? It's Mike here with ROF Airsmithing, and I have another special video for you all today. A really cool ego that I want to share. I just filmed the Where It All Began video talking about my very first ego that I ever bought, a 2006 ego. This video is really about where the collection began, because back in 2006, 2007, 2008, I was really into competitive tournament paintball. And I had the ego, I had an SFT shocker at the time, and I remember in '08, that's when I really got into it, and I played for college and so forth. In '08, I saved up and I purchased a used '08 ego. After getting the '06 ego and holding the SL74 when that came out, I was really interested in buying an '07 ego. But shortly after I got my '06, around August of 2007, a couple months later was World Cup, and that's when they released the '08 ego. And if yes, the '07s I suppose went down in price, but I remember it wasn't that late into 2008 when the SL8R was released. I remember everyone was trying to sell their '08 egos to buy an SL8R. So I think I bought my '08 ego, it was Gray Fern, for something like $900 or something like that. So it was a couple $100 discount, and I was blown away. So I have my '06 ego and my '08 ego, and really back then I never thought that, hey, I'm gonna get super attached to these markers, this is gonna be the only thing that I shoot from here on out. It was really just I really like playing competitively, so I'm gonna shoot the best ego that I can, or the latest and greatest. And each year I'll probably sell last year's marker and get the new latest and greatest, which is how a lot of people do it. And I have buddies who still to this day, they do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It wasn't until I got this marker that I started seeing the potential to collect Planet Eclipse egos. Before I get into this marker though, hang on a second, I'm just gonna put it down. Hopefully I don't reveal it, but I also want to share this. I don't know if I'm going to do a specific video on this, but this is not my Gray Fern '08 ego that I had back in 2008. I actually sold it. I sold it in December 2008. So when the '09 ego was released at World Cup 2008, basically online stores were just clearing their inventory of '08 egos to make room for '09 egos. So I basically sold my '08 Greater Fern ego that I bought used for like $900 or something like that. I sold it for, if I remember correctly, $850, and I think Action Village had their '08 ego stock that was remaining on sale for like $950. And so I sold my Gray Fern and I purchased let me get this one off the shelf. I purchased my Pink Lady '08 ego. So I got this marker in January. I used it for 1 point in one practice, and that is it. So this thing is pristine, brand new. I don't think you're gonna see another Pink Lady '08 in as good a condition as this is. But anyhow, so when I got back into it, it being paintball, of course, when I got back into it in 2020, I still had a bunch of my old egos, including my like new in box Pink Lady, and I love the way 08 Egos shoot. They're my second favorite ego of all time. You know, my first being the SL66. And so I knew that I wanted to shoot an 08 Ego. My Pink Lady was way too clean, and they've started skyrocketing in value. And so I said, wouldn't it be cool to get another gray fern? I always love this colorway, so I got this. This one is a beautiful shooter, super smooth. It's got the Zic2 rammer, bump HPR and LPR pistons. I've got a Violent Deuce trigger on it and a matching pops. And so this marker needs a complete rebuild before I can use it again. But yeah, I mean, super sweet markers. You don't need to do anything to them. I have, because it makes it shoot even better, even smoother. But yeah, these markers are fantastic. Anyhow, so back to 2008, back to my story at hand. What am I going to do with this? Let me just put this back on the shelf here so I don't damage anything. So we're going back to 2008. I had my 06 Ego that I bought in 07, and I had my Shocker SFT, and I had, that's a story for another day, that met a untimely demise, sadly. And I had my brand new used 08 Ego, and those were my three markers. I took them to the field. I mean, I beat them up, everything. Loved them. And then what happened is summer of 2008, I did a clinic at, I forget if it was EJAM 1 or EJAM 3. It was the indoor EJAM field in Hackensack, New Jersey. They did a clinic. Mike Paxton and Bea Young at the time, I don't think she was Bea Paxton yet, and all of Team Destiny were there doing a clinic. And so I show up with, you know, my 08 Ego and my 06, and, you know, I did really well, learned a lot at the clinic. I think one of the drills, Mike Paxton even complimented me, because I was really good back then at, I knew if I can't see them, they probably can't see me. And so I was really good about kind of using bunkers. I don't know if it was because I was good at geometry or whatever, but I was really good at kind of using bunkers as a blind spot to kind of move without people seeing me. Anyhow, I'm getting off into a tangent. So the guy that I was kind of drilling with and everything, he had a really cool Joker 08 Ego, the purple with the green parts. Super cool marker. And you know, between drills or something, he just says to me, hey, I've got an Ego. Are you interested in purchasing one? And I wasn't into collecting Egos at the time. I wasn't interested in purchasing another Ego, but he took it out of his gear bag, and my jaw just hit the floor. I'd never seen one of these before. It is a dark 06 Ego. And this thing was beautiful. And I said, how much? And mind you, this is 2008. He said $200 or $250. It was $200 or $250. I forget. It didn't have a barrel, so I sourced this barrel actually last year. Doesn't match 100%, but it's as close as I could get. So he said $250, I think is what it was, which is pretty darn good back then, considering these were like 1,600 or something new, 1,500 new, something like that. So I bought it on the spot. And I remember after the clinic, a bunch of people had all the Destiny players signing stuff, signing headbands, shirts, and everything. And I'm like, well, I don't really have anything for them to sign, any memorabilia or anything. But they were sponsored at the time by Planet Eclipse and were shooting Egos. So I said, well, why not have them, sign my brand new Ego? So everyone who sees my dark Ego says, what's that silver stuff all over your marker? What'd you do to it? That is from the clinic that I bought it at. I had Destiny, all the whole team, sign my new to me 06 Dark Ego, and just over time using it and everything, the signature is worn off, and this is what's left. So I did fully restore the marker last year. I've got the correct Delrin bolt pin, the correct board is in it. It's got a Maniac board. Got a new jewel for it, as well as this one up top here. Found a barrel for it, so it's good to go. Shoots amazing. But what was really cool about this marker is when I went off to Rutgers, I had now 3 Egos, and this was really the point at which I said, you know what, they make some really cool private labels, and maybe I ought to start collecting these and see how many I could get. This is the marker that started that possibility, if you want to call it that, for me. And so I went off to Rutgers. I had my 06 Ego, 08 Ego, and the dark. And during my time at Rutgers, I also acquired my Italian flag Nexus Ego, as well as, I'm looking at my board here because I'm trying to remember. I also acquired my Olive 2 Gold Parts excessive SL66. So I had 5 Egos, shortly after going to Rutgers and starting playing for their team. And I used to bring at least 3 to 4 Egos to every practice because, I had a black to red fade 05 Ego too at the time. But I would bring 3 to 4 to every practice, and the reason I would do that is because a lot of guys on the team used DMs. One guy had an Infinity Legend, another guy had an FEP Quest. So if someone's marker went down during a practice or something, and a lot of these guys only had one marker, then I would loan them out an Ego to use. And because I was most of the time using my 08 Ego, because it was just the latest and greatest, I would lend this one out a lot. And it is insane how well this marker shoots. And I had 2 guys on the team actually sell the marker that they had and get an Ego after using this at a practice. So this marker was the start of Ego fanism, or whatever you want to call it, for a lot of people, including myself. So again, thanks for watching, hearing my story about the different markers in my collection, and give a like, comment. Do you collect Egos? If not, do you collect any paintball markers? What do you collect and why? And let me know what other Ego and Planet Eclipse content you might want to see. Appreciate you watching.